Hey, how you doing? I'm feeling really quite rough today. I woke up this morning with what can only be described as a stinking cold. And I was quite disappointed because today's no-gi day down at the gym. And that's the best day. But I'm not going. And I thought it might be interesting to make a video about training when you're poorly. I guess the question is, should you train if you're feeling poorly? If you go online and Google this with respect to grappling, this is, and I think it probably holds true for other physical contact arts, other forms of recreational violence, the rule that people seem to talk about is that if it's above the neck, then you're good to still carry on training. If your illness is below the neck, you probably shouldn't. And I'm not convinced, to be honest. I mean, fine, if you're going to be going out for a run or you're in your own garden swinging a kettlebell or something like that, fine. Knock yourself out, go for it. It's not a problem at all. But I think that it fails to take into consideration one of the fundamental aspects of martial arts training. That's something that over the years of teaching that I've been doing, I've always tried to drill into people, especially when it comes to kids' classes. But to a degree, the more competitive arts suffer with this a little bit. And that's that we fail to remember that we're part of the same team, if you like. We're not in competition with the people we train with. We're part of the same group, and our goal is to help everybody get better. Being the best in your gym, well, if that's the point, if you are the best in your gym, well, you're probably in the wrong gym, to be honest, because how are you going to improve if you're the best? You're going to struggle. Video about that coming in the future. But my point is that we all bring each other up, and one of the ways we do that is by kind of looking out for each other and not getting too competitive, but also by kind of understanding that we have this innate responsibility for the well-being of the people we train with. Now, whether that is not screwing over their training by getting too competitive and beating their technique when they're drilling, because that doesn't help, or whether it's not putting stuff on too hard, whether it's not riding them with all your body weight if they're smaller or weaker or just generally, I don't know, slightly injured, something like that, looking out for each other and making sure that we all train. But also when we put a lock on a submission or a crossface or a choke or something like that, we do it in a controlled way. We don't actually want to hurt our opponents because we're responsible for their safety. And we know that if we tap, they're going to let go. And they know the same thing. But we know that they're not going to give us... They won't let us take the hold, they won't let us take the submission, but if it's on, they'll tap and we let go. And it's this trust that goes both ways. And I think that holds very true for feeling poorly as well. So kind of full circle, we're back round to this idea that if I've got a cold, if I'm sneezing, I've got a headache, I'm feeling congested, I just feel achy and horrible. Yeah, I could train, I could turn up down there. And once your heart rate gets up and you start exercising, then all of the symptoms will go away. I know this because in the past I've done this. And I'll feel much better for doing it. But I'm currently infectious. Whatever it is, I'm going to pass it on to people because not only am I in very close physical contact with people, getting hold of them, rolling around, but also if I sneeze and I cough, we're in a small enclosed room and that increases the viral load. I mean, we all know about viral transmission now. We've spent the last few years hearing about almost nothing else. And I'm not suggesting that I'm going to kill anyone by going training when I'm feeling a bit rough. But in actual fact, you don't know. Because my son had cancer, and he had chemotherapy for over a year, and he was immunocompromised, and if he caught a cold, he ended up in hospital on IV antibiotics, the whole lot, because anything that got into his system could kill him. And if he got a virus and his system wasn't able to deal with it, the virus wouldn't necessarily kill him, but it could overwhelm his immune system, and other things could kick off and kill him. And the fact is, if he got a temperature, we wouldn't know whether, was it a cold or was it septicemia? You don't know until you've done blood cultures and things. So the fact is, yeah, it might just be a cold to me, but if somebody's mum or dad or son or brother or partner are immunocompromised, and they may well be, you could put them at serious harm. So, should you train if you're feeling poorly? No, you bloody shouldn't. You absolutely shouldn't, and it's a really stupid thing to ask, if you ask me personally. If you can't bear the idea of not training, because let's be honest, I'm gutted that I'm not training, because I love it and I miss it, and it's going to be Friday before I get the chance to do it again. And that's gee. Maybe go for a run, stick an instructional DVD on, sign up to Scientific Wrestling and watch Wade's Pinisher or something like that. But don't go and spread the love. Put it this way, how would you feel if you went training and somebody there sneezed on you and you ended up with a cold? You'd be pretty pissed off, wouldn't you? I know I would be. So I'm not going training. And I hope that if you're feeling poorly, you don't go either. So, sorry. What do you think? Am I overreacting? Or am I being reasonable about this? For the sake of a few days, is it okay to just go, I'm not going to train? I'm actually going to make the most of this extra few days without training and let my ribs heal up a little bit. They're not broken, but they're a little bit bruised. Or should I just put all of these things to one side and just train? What do you think? What's your approach? So, to those of you that have got to the end of the video, because we're pretty much there now. I mean, obviously we're not, because I'm still talking. But if you've got this far, I've got a question for you. Do you follow any channels that have memberships? Because YouTube keeps telling me I've got memberships as an option. And I don't really know what to do with them, if anything. So if you do, what do people offer to their members? Yeah, let me know. And I'll see you soon. Fight team!